how to decide on a factory. So you're doing this on your own. You are quoting at 3 to 5 factories. You've never met them. You haven't flown over there. How do you know if they're any good? There are three things that I actually use to decide on. Now, if I've worked with factories before, it's so much better because I can advise the customer on, okay, here's the relationship, here's the timeline they're usually on, here's the price line that we expect for them. The three things that you can judge them by is 1, the quality, 2, the price, and 3, the timeline. Quality, price, and timeline. How do you know those things if you haven't worked with them before? The quality, you're going to need to see their product, maybe ask them for a video and photos of their factory so they can scan through and you can get a good idea. Little trick of the trade, especially maybe overseas factories, if their address on their business card is different than their actual factory location, what that tells me is that they have an office in one location and they have a factory in another. It's not terrible, but it could be a red flag if they happen to be maybe like a trading company or something. I don't necessarily recommend a trading company because a lot of times it's such a big middleman where it's not necessary for you to work directly with the factory. But getting back on point, the three things you need to look at them for is the quality, the price, and the timeline. Price, you're gonna know by, you're gonna get 3 to 5 quotes, right? And then the last one is the timeline. So don't ever expect anyone to be on time. But it's nice to know, are they going to be 1 week late or are they going to be a month late, right? What is reasonable? When you give the PO to them and say, okay, here's our production PO, you're going to put the date on there of when they need to ship. And then what happens is, if you're getting close to that date and they say, hey, look, we're really not going to make it, we're going to be X amount of time late, then you need to decide, are you going to permit them this time? 1 to 2 weeks is reasonable, which you should actually already have allowed between your time of delivery to the buyers. You should never give the exact time. You absolutely have to always put cushion time in there. So, okay, they need a 2-week extension. That's fine. You edit the PO and resend it. Okay. But when you're pushing into a month extension, like that's not acceptable. So, 3 things you need to judge a factory on are quality, time, and price. That's it.